both take a sip of our coffee.
Just to calm down.
Delicioso. All right, everybody. Wait, are you ready?
Yep.
You look so cute.
I'm just really happy to have this.
Me too. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Polite as Fuck. Let's dive right in. Our 10 and 10. Erica's idea. Wait, what was it? Oh, like Rex, things that we're listening to, watching. Do you want to go first? Because
Sure.
mine are...
Okay, well, we'll start with the audiobook that I just downed so quick, called The House of My Mother. And I have never heard of 8 Passengers before I found this audiobook, but apparently they were like a YouTube family back in the day. They had like over 2 million subscribers and just kind of blew up, and the family was Mormon. But it's this whole story of Sherry Frankie, I think. And, like, she's the oldest of the 6 kids. And their family, like Mormonism is already one thing, but it, like, went to an extreme. And her mom, like, found this therapist, and they started this thing called Connections that turned into, like, basically them abusing their children. And then she got arrested, and it's just crazy, like, the whole experience. And, like, the mom, at the time, Sherry was in college. Her mom had disowned her, had kicked the dad out of the house. The older brother was disowned. So, like, all of the kids were just, like, trapped with this. She diagnoses her mom as a narcissist in the end, and, like, talks about, like, how all of her behavior, even, like, the letters she was writing to her from prison, were not about, like, I'm sorry. It was about, like, all the things I used to do for you as a kid, and just, like, yeah. Crazy.
Oh,
So good. I feel like everyone should listen to it. It's like true crime, but kind of a happy ending, I guess. No one died.
Yeah. Kind of a happy ending. Yeah, the mom's in prison. But I guess that's good.
Yeah.
Along the same lines, I didn't have this on mine. I don't know how I forgot it, but Erica and I finally started watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yeah,
I knew that was on yours, but I'm like, I just had to talk about it. Like, it's like, I know we joke about it so much, and it is, like, funny in a way, just especially for the two of us, because of how we grew up and how, like, I kind of, like, saw your childhood just as, like, you kind of saw mine.
Yeah.
I'm like, knowing that it was, like, part of your life, and therefore something that I kind of knew, like, I knew you weren't going to have your phone on Sundays. I knew that when you were at a swim meet, you were only racing the races on Saturdays. Like, we just knew that. Like, there were other certain things, like, that was just a part of our friendship as well. And so to see and also live with you and hear, just like, I just tell people like, just like random things that you say. It's like dinner time, like, or just like dinner talk. It's crazy.
Like one word or something will trigger it, and I'm like,
oh yeah. Just like pulls out of you. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's insane. Anyway, watching this show has been really interesting. First it's been interesting because I was misinformed myself, I thought it was more of like, I didn't watch any of the trailers, so The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the way that it was presented, I was like, oh, this is like documentary about these like crazy Mormon wives that are about to like spill all, which like kind of is what's happening. I didn't realize it was like reality TV, and like how it was like based on something that was like already known.
Yeah.
And I did not know. So the first episode is like spoiler alert, but it's like, and they all slept with each other and had orgies, and then it was like moving on to like the one-on-one interviews, and I'm like, okay, wait, what? Did we just hear that, and now we're moving on? No one's gonna address it. We're not spending a whole episode on like the orgy, or I had no context of that, but now, like, knowing that that's what it is, I'm like, it's so addicting. I love it, and we're only 2 episodes in. It's crazy.
No, I want to watch one today if you want to.
Yes.
It's good. Yeah, I had that on mine too. So if you want to say another one, you can.
Obviously, Game of Thrones reruns in winter are like where it's at. The days are long. Winter is coming. Winter is here. It's like the literal perfect time to watch Game of Thrones. So that's what I've been spending my time doing.
Yeah. My boss at work, my old boss at work put a Game of Thrones like GIF in a group chat, and I was like, it was Arya mask like pulling off the old man, and then it's Arya. I don't remember, but I was like, wow, that is iconic, and I need to watch that show again.
It's so good. Name the time, because I will always watch that show. It is the best.
Well, you were just talking about this movie last night, but The Substance, my younger sister had recommended it, and so I watched it, and I honestly had to look away for parts of it because I was like, this is so much, but it is crazy. And I'm not like, I don't love scary movies, but this is more of like maybe more of like a thriller or like and I think because it's like based on beauty standards and like body dysmorphia and crazy things like that I can relate to in a way. It was like as fucked up and like twisted as it was, I was like, I also understand.
Yeah.
So it was.
I've heard nothing but good things. I mean, obviously Demi Moore won the freaking Golden Globe for it, so I'm like, it's got to be good. But I'm like, I don't know. Winter is a time for me. I am like in my little hole. I'm like, I have not done anything new or exciting.
It's okay. Yeah.
Is it okay? We'll talk about it. Wait, is it my turn?
Yeah.
When like the Christmas, I don't know if we talked about this already, so sorry if we have, but during Christmas like break, I guess the new Netflix TV show Black Doves came out, and I watched it in like a heartbeat. I was like first to last episode done within like a few days. Like,
is that Keira Knightley?
Yeah, I really liked it. It kind of reminded me of Killing Eve, sort of, which I really enjoyed that show too, and it was nice, and I liked it. That was like honestly the most recent thing I've watched.
No, that was a good one. I liked it too. I felt like it. Sometimes like spy movies or stuff like that, I'm like, this is so cheesy.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that it was.
It makes it better that they're English.
Yeah.
It's a little bit easier to digest. Like if it was American, I'd be like, this is not real. But they're like saying things like the M12 and all of these things, and I'm like, yeah, whatever that is, totally. That's
true. One more movie that I had in mind was one that we watched last night called Monkey Man, which was apparently directed by what's his name, Jordan Peele. Yeah, and it was really interesting. It's like, I don't know why I couldn't get through Slumdog Millionaire. I tried watching that movie.
Remind me of that one is?
I think the main actor that was in, I don't know if you saw the movie last night, but I honestly don't really know, but it's like really famous.
Is it like the Indian who's on the TV show? Is that the movie?
Let's see.
Oh, wait, where am I? Am I making that up?
Yeah.
I think I like that movie. It was just long.
Questions of the Indian version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yes. Oh,
Wait.
that was a tough movie. I do like that movie a lot.
Actually, I think I'm thinking of Lion.
I don't know that.
Because it's this actor that was in the movie last night.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Is he
also in Slumdog Millionaire?
Maybe he's like the younger guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, I couldn't get through it, and I don't know if it was just like, I don't know the reason why I couldn't. So when this one started, I was a little bit like, is this going to be the same thing of like, poor kid from India works his way up, whatever type thing. But it was really interesting, and I felt like there were a lot of good scenes. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting older and I'm like, wow, that cut was really cool, or like the way they shot that was really interesting. And like the ending scene last night was like there was like this painting in the back that they had been talking about throughout the movie, and then it was like that coming to head moment, and then it was like their shadows in front of the painting, and I just thought it was really cool. So
I do think we already did our hot take episode, but hot take, I think that like because there's so much content out there all the time that people are getting more critical on what they like digest as in like terms of art and film.
That's
and
true.
like maybe it is age, but like I totally agree. I'm so fucking critical. I'm looking at that kind of stuff all the time and like totally that was the contrast to the juxtaposition. God, that word, I'm like, la, 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 la. I love that word. If I could use that, it's the best. So I totally understand. Juxtaposition. The like fun employment time, the one thing that I've like carried with me during that time has been the fantasy books, and one of them that I really liked was like the dragon one where they can like talk to each other and stuff. And there's a new book coming out. If it's not already out, well, I really need to be on top of it. So I've been re-listening to the books so that I'm ready for when the new book comes out, and it's called like Onyx Storm, and oh my god, it looks so good. The ending, oh my god, I'm like, I love it. And one of our friends, actually, I haven't seen her in a long time, but last time I saw her, she was reading these books for the first time. So I'm so excited to be able to see her and like, debrief everything. And just
I want to reread them now.
It's worth it. And honestly, the audiobooks, like, I feel so lame sometimes listening to an audiobook, but if you find a good one where the narrator is like really good, it makes like it really is enjoyable to like listen to.
Fully. That's why I literally would wake up, start playing.
Yes.
In the shower listening to it. I'm trying to work playing. I'm like, okay, I can't listen to this while I'm trying to work, but like it's good.
Yeah.
I get it.
I love it.
My last one is a book called 8 Dates, which is like, maybe I'm being lame by recommending it, but I am, spoiler alert, scared of dating and scared of getting hurt. And so I think that this book is written by the Gottman Institute, which is like some doctors that like study love, basically. And it's like 8 conversations that they recommend you have if you're like trying to be in a relationship. And the first one is on trust and commitment, which is like the hardest one. And
if that's the first one, what are the rest? My lord.
I think there's like sex and intimacy, finances.
Like quite literally all of the big convos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So just did the first one and it was good. It's a good reminder. I feel like it's a good like reflection. Because as we're going to talk about in this episode, Spiral City right now, I am like going through it. If it's not one thing, it's another. And so I feel like it was good to talk it out and like concerns about certain things. Something I had brought up to you around like, I don't know, phone stuff's hard, or like having friends that are the opposite sex. It's like, obviously that's a thing. But, like, how do you know if you don't know the person when it's okay and blah, blah, blah. So, I felt like it was good. It was helpful to have that conversation. And if you're dating someone, maybe you should have that.
8 Dates, that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Love it. I'm not in a relationship. Maybe I should read it. My last one is literally like so lame, but it's just reruns of your favorite shows. Like I've just been rewatching stuff, having it on the background while I like paint, or I literally took a bath and had it on my laptop while I was in the bath yesterday. It was awesome. Because wait, what did I write down? I thought it was like so funny. Rerun / comfort stuff because of my spiraling. I like literally cannot handle any new things because I'm like already in this like, I just need to hold on to something because everything else feels so like,
yeah.
Let's talk about
it. I think that when we, a while back, did the episode of, like, we don't make goals, or we make, I don't even remember what we called it, but this, I don't know why, this time, like, writing goals for the year, I was kind of avoiding it. Mm-hmm. It's not that I didn't want to do things this year, it was more of just, like, I feel like the other year just ended and I need like a second to like just sit and be and like not have a goal for a minute. And then like, okay, we did the episode. It was good. Like I'm excited for a lot of the things I want to do, or we're already doing stuff like Dry January and I deleted my social media and blah, blah, blah. But it's like now my mind is just racing, and every avenue of my life, in my finances and relationships and like just health,
everything.
like my house. Like, I feel like if I try and start something,
12 more things pop up.
or yeah, my mind just like immediately goes to like, well, if you do this, then this is gonna happen, and then this is gonna happen, and then you're gonna be broke. Or like, if you do this, then you're gonna ruin this relationship, and you can't do this. And it's like going to the negative and like the final outcome when I like just start something. So then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything. I don't know why that's
debilitating.
Happening. Yeah. So you can relate.
Oh my god, it is crazy. I didn't really even think about it until I stopped to think about what it is I wanted to say during this episode, because I'm like, I cannot just sit here and like just list off things, because I will start crying and I will just like fully spiral, and that is not an episode.
Yeah.
And I did like, I was like, duh, it's because I put all of this pressure on myself to take 5 days to think about what I want the next 365 days to look like.
Yeah.
And try to make sure all of my goals are in place, and try to make sure that I'm like not becoming, and I said to myself I wanted to make specific tangible goals so that by the end of the year, blah, 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 which is like all true, but like I am exhausted. Like I feel so mentally drained because I feel like I'm constantly thinking about like this need to change and be something overnight.
Yeah.
And I'm now upset with myself because I'm not doing anything, because things take time and goals take time. I'm not going to be able to do that. And it does become like this spiral of all of a sudden I had a simple task, a simple thing that I need to do, but it's like I'm not able to complete that because I'm like 7 miles down the road already thinking about like how it somehow ends up like I'm the worst. I don't even know. Like, it's just I don't even know. It seems so silly when you say it out loud, but it's like it really is. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted. Honestly, what the fuck, January? This is be done. Be done. You need to be done. This has been the longest month, and I just feel frustrated with myself because I want to be positive and I want to have a good outlook. But there are so many things happening right now in my life and in the world that I am not, I'm not happy at the world. I'm not feeling great. And then somehow spirals into like how I'm like a loser and how I, these like horrible things that you say to yourself. All from like, just.
I know.
So I can definitely relate.
Yeah. What I was going to tell you earlier, one of the spirals is house stuff. And like I've been very excited. Yeah. We have this cool space, and like building out the patio was like cute, and I'm excited to like for us to get plants and like put more stuff out there, and I'm so excited to get the flooring because I feel like we've been in this weird limbo where it's like, well, we don't really want to buy more things because then we're gonna have to move it around because then they're gonna put new floors in. But anyway, I had this idea yesterday. I wanted to go to the mall. I'm like, I feel like shopping. I feel like I want to go, like, see what the winter sales are. I hear in January it's, like, when the best time for, like, furniture sales and stuff. Mistake. It was a mistake. You get in, we go to Abercrombie first, and, of course, all the things that I think are so cute were all the full price things. Mm. And I was like, I don't have money for this. I can't buy this. Like, this is too expensive. Right. So then I go to the sale, and then everything that I thought was cute was in an XL. And so I was like, okay, whatever. Like, nothing is in my size. That is the theme for all the stores. So then we go to the home store, like Williams-Sonoma or something. And I found this giant mixing bowl, which I was like, we have mixing bowls, but that's been like the thing of like having like a huge mixing bowl because sometimes you just need one. And it was like $60. And I was like, I'm not going to spend $60 on a bowl. And then I was like, am I ever going to, and then it goes to like, am I ever going to have a put together house? Is it ever going to be what I like? Why did I do this? Just so bad. And then we left. And then it was like, I was hungry, and Mr. Forrest was like, well, let's go like get food. And then I was like, well, I can't afford food. So then we come back home, and then we eat the food that we have, and then we went and bought food anyway. It was just like, it's fine. Like, it really is fine. And I think you take it, when you can get out of it and take a step back, it's like, I've been living in San Diego since 2019. What is that? 6 years almost? I have, like, what have I said? Like 2 or 3 pieces that I, like, really am excited about, and that's taken me 6 years. So why am I, like, we really haven't even been living in this home that long. I feel like we got the house and then we both left for the holidays, and we're like, this is the first month we've, like, been here for a month.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, expecting to have every item of everything bought. Like, when you get out of the spiral, you know that it's crazy. But, like, I was reading on calm.com.
Oh my god, I was on there too.
Okay.
I wonder if this was the same article.
How to stop spiral thoughts or something?
Love it, the 8 ways or something like that. Loved
Yeah.
it.
Well, I was honestly a little bit annoyed because it was like, stay in the moment. I'm like, oh yeah, just stay in the moment. That's how I stop a spiral thing.
That's so true, actually. That's so right. Fuck off. Calm.
I was like, oh yeah, let me just be present. Like, when that's happening, I think, and maybe this is why I love the podcast, like, chatting it out, I think is the most helpful. Because if I stay in my brain, that's when I'm just, like, going down that rabbit hole. And then my reaction to another person is, like, mean or negative because they don't know what I've just thought through my head. But, like, I think talking it out allows you to maybe be more in the present, or journaling or something like that.
Yeah. I am like, yeah, take a deep breath. That was crazy. Because I relate, but I'm also like, I do think it's a little harder for you because this is your house. Like, this is the home that you bought, so of course you want it to put together. Like, the fact that my room isn't put together, I'm sure is, like, on my list of things that are stressing me out. But I think it's like oh my god, even talking about it right now, maybe coffee was not a good idea because, like, my heart rate
Your heart rate
is like crazy. But I like it's everything that I'm having a hard time even dividing it up into, like, categories.
Yeah.
And even, like, explaining it to be able to chat about it, because I do feel so, like, overwhelmed to the point where, like you said at the beginning, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything. And I think, like, what's getting me right now is there's so many, like, things that I need to get done, right? So, for example, one of my tires has been low and I can't figure out what's wrong with it. I've gone and put in air, thought it was fine. The next few days, the light turned back on. The answer is to go to a tire shop, have them take a look. If I have them patch it up, if that's what it needs, like, just do the bare minimum. Easy. Probably like a not super expensive fix. I just probably need to do it. So that's, like, one thing. I need to water my plants. I need to, like, clean my bathroom. I want to go to the gym. Like, I can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
But it's like all of these little things. I just feel like I always make an excuse. I also have priorities that need to be done before that. So, like, my priorities right now are, like, work and my dogs. Like, those are the things that need to be taken care of first. And that's, like, what comes first when it comes to, like, scheduling my day to day. And sometimes, like, I sometimes like the schedule that I have because it means that I can do whatever I want. But it sometimes sucks having the schedule I have because some days, like, it's all over the place. It's not like I can have, like, okay, my weekends or my Friday nights are my time to go, like, make my phone calls and to go to do these errands or whatever. It, like, doesn't really work like that. And again, I hate talking about it, and this is why I'm getting frustrated, because talking about it out loud, I'm hearing it and I'm trying to stay positive, and I'm sure, like, you guys are nicer, maybe, I hope so, but I'm just like, shut the fuck up, go get your tires changed, like, go to the gym. Like, I don't know why I am getting so, like, so I'm just, like,
you're zipping yourself up. She can't finish her sentence because she's in her sweatshirt.
Talking like this. But I am, like, I can't stop to the point where, like, I just don't do anything, and then I sit and then I get frustrated with myself and I start the negative talk, and then I start to say like all of the things that I am super deeply insecure about. I bring because I'm like, press on that Bruce, you motherfucker. And then I'm like upset because what did I say? My top goal of the year was to like let shit go.
Yeah.
Focus on myself, and then I get even more upset that I'm like, okay, Ellie, fix it. Don't think like this. You're trying to like blah blah blah. Like I
feel like you have been really good about that piece though. Like even though you're spiraling, you have called yourself on it for like work stuff.
I think I'm a little afraid though, because I do feel like I'm getting better, but like I was able to use like my inability of like not doing anything on my list last week because I was on my period, and now that I'm not and I'm still feeling like anxious, I feel like I've been like pushing it down, that it's like some scum there is about to be the next
storm is a brewing.
Yeah, the storm is a brewing, because I just like I have it and I have these thoughts and I am trying like the mindful way of like have it, let it float away, but I don't know if I'm letting it, like I don't know. And if I think about it, I don't know, I'm like stuck. I don't know how to like fully articulate it. Surprise, Ellie can't use her words, but I just I'm frustrated and overwhelmed. And then I sat down to like really think about maybe why that is. And it's like I just put all of this pressure on myself. Like I am having anxiety about going to do an ocean dip. Like, and I think that there's more to it, and I do want to talk about it eventually, but I'm just like, why is this causing so much anxiety? To like, why is this something that is so, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm like, fuck it all. It's just so hard, but I don't want to have that. I don't want to have that mentality. And that is just, guys, this is just like my mental, how I'm feeling on the inside.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about maybe some things that are happening on the outside in the world that are just like super fucked up.
I was like, where are we going with this?
Well, because I think about it, like when I am spiraling, I do try to like bring myself out, and I'm like, I'm okay. Everything's okay. Look at my life. Things are beautiful. You're working towards it. It's winter time. I said this before, like you're allowed to be in hibernation mode right now.
Yeah.
But then I like do think about the world, and then I do think about where we're at, and it's like, okay, well, the county above my county is actually on fire, and January 20th is in a few days, and that's going to be super
January
fun.
20th is tomorrow.
Wait, what? Wait, so by this time comes out, we're going to have a new president. We have a new president. TikTok's banned.
I think it's back, though.
Oh, it might, yeah. Oh, is it back?
I just saw someone post something that like in our group chat that there's a new message that wait, can you go check actually? Yeah, this is a live reaction.
Live reaction.
Because I don't have it.
We've been there.
I don't know if this is real, but someone shared the screenshot that's like, as a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the US. And it's just crazy because I last night was like, I feel like I remember him being the one that was saying he was banning TikTok.
Oh, it was him.
So then I went and looked at the timeline of things.
Reading
when
that
he was president,
was crazy.
And I was like, this is his thing. And not that like, I think a lot of either president, whoever is in power, like there's some crazy things that TikTok, like the way it is built, can like access your Wi-Fi. And like if you are like, have personal information that could help China, they could hack into your, I don't know how it all works, but like I get that there is some security problems with it, and that's why the government has been like, you guys need to change whatever it is that you're doing. Don't know to the extent of all these things, but I just think that it shows how it's not like, what is the way I was chatting about this morning, of like just like ethical lines being blurred, because now it's just becoming a monetization of like, how can I win the favor of like the biggest party? And so many young people voted for him. So even though he was the one that started this thing over 4 years ago, now we have all these young kids that are like are voting age, help vote him into power, and so he doesn't want to lose his favor in their eyes. So now it's like, okay, I can make money from you guys.
One of the Instagram people that I'm like not a big influencer person, but she is the one that's doing the live reactions of the Harry Potter books.
Oh, yeah.
And she is just like such a fucking vibe. And she posted something this morning and it was funny because she went off. She was like, wasn't it you that said it, President Trump? Wasn't this all you? Like, what the fuck? She didn't say President Trump. She just said Trump. Let me make sure I get that right. That's crazy. I would never do you like that. And I was like fascinated by it because it's like, it's so true. Just a little bit of information, like just a little bit of research. You can see who the fuck started all of this. And she had said something like, it's literally, he just puts his name on everything. Like it's just a name. It was that one person in your group project that was like, just put my name down. I'll just write my name right here. Literally. Like it's just an added name. And it is really frustrating to see it in the perspective of like how easily swayed we are and how sad it is that like so many young people did vote for him. It
makes me feel like when this is happening, I feel like I'm in the capital of the Hunger Games. Like literally, this is literally what you just said, and the message that popped up of like President Trump is really trying. That is propaganda. That is what would appear on the Capitol television in the Hunger Games. Yeah. People wake up, but this is insane. And what's crazier is like, not to be a fucking nerd, but Suzanne Collins, whoever wrote the fucking Hunger Games, in there, the whole reason how the Hunger Games started is because there were fires and floods. It was in the future because we couldn't take care of our planet, and then all of a sudden I'm like, guys, wake up. Like literally wake up. This is happening. This is so crazy. It is so crazy. I'm like, this is why it's so hard not to spiral, because it's like when I come out of my own fucking shit, like I'm faced with like worldly shit, and I'm so frustrated. Yeah, it's like you can't spiral in your own little world, so then you try and like take it a step away, and then you're like, well, this spiral is even bigger. This is like a freaking hurricane that's happening. It really is. And it's like everywhere I look, like I feel so sad. And everywhere at first it was like, I'm so thankful to live in California. Well, California dropped how many people's fire insurance, how many people's health insurance are now. Like I have friends who have big girl jobs and are having trouble finding doctors. It's insane. And we're living in California. Katie, who was on the podcast, is having trouble finding insurance because they keep getting dropped and pushed around all over. It's like everywhere you look is just I know. So I'm sure they're so over. I just realized how many times I did that like scream squeaky thing, and I'm like, oh my god. Well, no, but that's the feeling. Is like I just want to scream. I just don't even know what to do. Same. Like what I've been like. This isn't really. I didn't want it to be. I don't have answers. I really don't know what the right or wrong thing is. Like I've just been spiraling, and I know what I've been doing to try to just like stay afloat, because I know I'm not the only person that's feeling this, obviously, like you are as well. And like even just talking with some people, like there just seems to be the sense of just like, oh my god, like exhaustion, like the world is just taking one big sigh. And so I'm just trying to stay afloat. I'm trying to like just talk it out as much as I can and like celebrate the good things. The fact that like it's getting a little bit brighter every day. It's like really, we're over the hump, which is fantastic. January is almost over. Wine is not gonna taste. It's like so in the near future. I love it. Yeah. I will say, I recently watched the Bob Dylan movie that was not on my recommendations. It was good. It was good music, but I'm like, this was like the longest film, and I feel like really the only reason it was a film was so that they could play his music. But it also reminded me, like, because it was during the 60s, all the crazy stuff going on then, and like the dread and this, like, people were freaking out, and I'm like, not to say that things aren't getting worse, or just like, especially with technology, we know so much more that's going on now. But I do think it was a good reminder watching that movie because of how bad I've been spiraling this month of like, this shit is always going to be happening. Like we're never going to get to like a point where it's like, wow, we have such an ethical president and like
So
our government is great and laws are just perfect and like everyone's skipping around. Like it's never going to be that way. So I think that was a helpful moment for me of like, not to say give up and like just don't care anymore, but also like as we're spiraling over how stupid and crazy and like everything is that's going on. Similar, I guess, to what we were talking about for sustainability and stuff in the last episode is like do your part, do what you can. And know that, like, it's just kind of always going to be. And until the day that everyone wakes up and decides they're going to change, which is just never going to happen, then that's when peace will come. And that's just won't happen, so.
Yeah. I was thinking, too, while you were talking, like, about how I can try to, like, correlate that to, like, my personal life.
Yeah.
And I remember saying in one of our goals episode how last year I had put for 2024 like romanticize my life, and I remember like the last episode or whatever laughing at myself for putting that. And I think I have this tendency to pull myself out of a moment of doing like something that I enjoy to remember all of the things that I should be doing instead. For example, like I said, one of the things that is stressing me out is like I really want to focus on my health and run more and go to the gym more and like really be aware of what I'm putting in my body when it comes to like making food and stuff. Well, I've been having some knee problems. Long story short, I've not been getting into the gym as much as I should. And I'm getting really frustrated by that to the point where I'm starting to spiral. And I've been going on these longer walks with my dogs and really enjoying my time and romanticizing my life. And recently, like this last week, I've pulled myself out of an enjoyable, healthy, good walk for not only myself, but for the animals that I take care of, only to spend the last 20 minutes of my walk to be frustrated that I wasn't in the gym instead or like not doing something else. And so I think like just hearing you say that made me kind of think of like, maybe I should be romanticizing my life a little bit more, especially when I am going through all of this or when the world does feel so
heavy.
Is to romanticize the things that are going so well, like your Sunday morning walk, you know, or Sunday morning breakfast, or like these little things that seem so like, man, I could be doing more, or like maybe doesn't feel as special in the moment, but are like so special. And like, I don't know, just a thought.
No, I do love that. I like the concept of romanticizing your life, because when I do like think about that or remember that, I'm like, this is. And when you think, this could be another spiral thought or like a like bittersweet whatever, but like when you think about when you were a kid and when you pictured yourself as an adult, it's like you're doing a lot of the things that you thought or wanted to do as a kid, and you're probably a lot cooler than you even thought you were going to be. Like living in San Diego, going on Sunday walks with 2 dogs, like that's so cool. And young you would be so stoked on that.
Totally.
And like I am guilty of not doing that, but when I think of romanticizing my life, that's what helps me, is like I'm doing the stuff that I always said that I wanted to do. And like even if it's not in this like perfect timeline, or like everything every day is like I'm hitting all my goals, it's still like in the long run I am, you know?
Just trying to take a deep breath. Totally. I'm totally able to reach my goals, but I don't have to reach them all today.
Yeah.
I need to remember that. That's okay.
The big thing. Because even like, well, even future planning, like I put 3 goals that I wanted for this month to get done. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to check those off. But then future thinking, I'm like, well, I do want to run another race. And this was one of my spirals, was like, let's pick somewhere fun. Like Maui. Has anyone ever looked into how much it is to go to Maui? And how... I'm like, no, Erica, you're not doing that. And that's too expensive. And then the whole spiral of life choices. But it's like also, now that I've pulled myself out of it, I've been looking at like cool trail runs and these like groups that are in this area that I'm like, that would be cool. And to see like different parts of San Diego or like Southern California in like trails. And it's cheap. They're cheaper than any like rock and roll race or anything that's like a more sanctioned like marathon type event. And I'm like, wow, when you stopped being so negative, you found a different solution and like took some time. And it's like, yeah, it's hard not to get your way. It's hard not to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them. But it's also sometimes can lead to maybe something better or like a cooler thing that you discovered because you couldn't do the one thing that you thought you wanted to do.
Yeah. Man, I also think too, it's like, I was talking to my sister about this, and I'm like, the universe has a way, I'm going to get real spiritual on you.
Yeah.
But the universe has a way of like just throwing the most interesting little speed bumps in your way at certain times. And like, I really did try to make it a point to this year focus on like what I said, just to let things go. And in all of these moments, it has been a test and I've been really trying, but I'm like, this is the whole point. Like, this is what it is. And if like, I don't know, I don't want to, I guess, like spiral too much because I'm just going to say the same things that I have, but I just like, it is difficult time of year anyway. And so to even like sit and be so hard on myself is so silly because it just like doesn't make anybody feel good. And I have a tendency to do that. I have a tendency to make myself not feel good for like whatever reason, just to like sit in it. And I just don't want to do that because it's miserable. And like, it's just been a little difficult these past few weeks, but it is true that like, I don't know, it's okay. And it's okay not to be okay some days. And yeah. I also like just like I am proud of myself. Like I am doing like I'm proud that I've never done dry January before. Like I said, I never felt the need, but I'm like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah,
I feel good. Yeah,
you're doing it. Yeah, it is good. You saying that reminded me when I was home, or maybe it was when I had taken my sister to Phoenix. She just asked questions randomly, and she was like, "All right, what are 3 things you're grateful for?" And like, I could have been like, okay, shut up. Like, I'm not doing that. But it was also like...
Why do siblings do that? Like, honestly, they choose... I love you guys so much, but like, Sophia does that shit all the time. I'm just like, oh my God. But it's perfect because you do remember those.
Because then you're like, all right, here are 3 things that I am. And then you're like, I don't know, it's just like a little feel-good thing. And I might have mentioned this before, but when I was in like my darkest time at work, one of the only things that like kept me somewhat grounded was a gratitude journal, and it was freaking hard to think about things that I was like, and to write in it every day. So then you're trying to write different things. You can't just keep saying like, I'm thankful I woke up today, and I'm thankful I have a bed. And it's like, not to say those aren't things to be grateful for, but like, all right, Erica, you said that yesterday now. What are you grateful for today? And I do think sometimes, like, the journaling piece can be helpful to write out, like, what your spirals are. But then to help try and reframe your mind a little bit of, like, what is the good going on? Or what are, like, the positive parts? Because when you're so focused on, like, what you're not doing or where you're not at yet or where you think you're not going to be because you haven't done something, it's like... Okay, yeah, I journaled, but like, now what?
Yeah, definitely. My dad always says, don't take big chunks out of the elephant or something. Don't bite out of the something. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got it. I did it. My dad always says, don't take big chunks from the elephant.
I literally can't believe it.
She's like, what?
Oh, no. Oh, wait, hold up. What was I even saying? my god, this is gonna sound so dumb.
I
now
feel
that
like I
just
do
said that.
know. I feel like you've said this phrase
Right?
before, but
Like,
I don't think
no, it's not. It's like something about, I don't know, don't bite off more than you can chew. No, it's not even that. I don't know. It's like take one step outside. I hate metaphors.
Just trying to be inspirational.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Okay, well, the reason why I was saying that is because, like, back to my example about going to the gym, like, because I'm having knee problems, just because I'm, like, not running or going to the gym every day, like, one of my goals has been to stretch every day.
I love
and I'm
that.
trying to, like, celebrate the small successes by doing things that are still, like, within, like, the umbrella of my overall goal.
Yeah,
Because, like,
yeah.
I do want to run another race. I can't do that if I'm, like,
Injured.
Yeah, injured. Like, I want to make sure I'm taking care of myself. And
Yeah.
I think just the idea that I have in my head or the picture, because of my comparison and because I care about what people think, I have an envision of what I want to do and what I want to be and what I want to look like. When it doesn't match up, I get so, like, frustrated. That leads to spiraling. So I have to, like, pull myself back into the, like, I am me and that's okay and I know what's best for me. And right now it's stretching, or right now it's hibernating and re-watching TV shows.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
Oh my god. Well, all my brain cells left.
Well-
Well, my heart rate is down, so that means
good.
something.
Oh, so is mine. Wow.
Wow, we did it.
I updated my watch so I could actually like see what my heart rate is. 'Cause I
love
never
that.
knew before.
I love when I'm with you and sometimes, like, you'll get a notification and it's like, oh, I'm stressed apparently, and we'll be like in line for ice cream or something. I'm like, oh, damn.
You're a little anxious.
Yeah.
Take some deep breaths. Which is what I need to do now. This was honestly very helpful.
Yeah, I hope so.
So talking it out was helpful. And if you're feeling like, well, did you have more things? you wanna
No,
say?
that was, I think we've had enough.
I could tell you all my spirals, but I think you guys get it. And if you're in the same mindset, I don't know, I just feel like there's no rush on kind of why we said that episode a while back of like, you could set goals at any point in the year. Like the new year brings this sense of like, okay, we're starting fresh, you're turning a new leaf, blah, blah, blah. But it's also like, you could do goals in summer, you could do goals in spring, you could make it whenever you want, you could do one thing at a time, and like, until you hit that goal, you're not focused on anything else, or however you want to do it. It's also like, there's always going to be shit going on.
Yeah.
There's always going to be hurdles. Nothing in life is ever easy, which is like so frustrating. And I'm like, can we just have one thing?
Yeah.
Just like one thing go to plan
Yeah.
would be really great. But I'm also kind of just getting used to the fact that that's just not happening. That's
Acceptance.
acceptance is a big one.
That was it. That was all I had to say. That was my contribution. Acceptance.
I honestly thought you said accept in, and so I was like, what is she gonna say? When is it
Just
easy,
one
Ellie?
word in it. Acceptance. With okay.
But yeah, thanks for coming along. I couldn't think of anything else to talk about because I've been so in my head.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really needed this, so.
Me too.
So we still got, yeah.
One more.
Yeah, we have
One more week of January.
One more week. We can do it.
We can do
Yay. Yeah. Maybe TikTok's back if you want to follow us. You can find us on Instagram. Wherever you have social media, we're there. Subscribe to our YouTube, please.
Please.
Even if you're not on YouTube, just like give us a little subscribe. And Plattsburgh Podcast or future podcasts. We'll see you next week. Bye.